let's go ahead and get this started then, because how do I start this out? Guys, it's Monday. The weekend is come and gone, and it's a chance for us to start a new week out fresh. So, folks, welcome one and all to the Mechpit chat for this week. I am, of course, your host Ironcaster here to settle the things into the week because Mondays can't all be negative. And today I've brought along a special guest for today. Say hello, Diesel.
Hey man, thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it. This is
Oh,
cool, man. We're finally getting together to hang out.
yeah, it's been something I've been meaning to do for a while, and this is really kind of do something like I said I've been meaning to do for quite a while. Uh, let's see, Dave. Let me know if that helped out. Sorry, I have just still kind of playing with things behind the scenes a little bit. So I don't know why mine's only coming through like at
Oh,
this half volume.
he said I'm at proper volume, which is cool because I had the gain up so loud that it was like blasting my eardrums out earlier. It's just awesome.
You know, you know, I don't know if it was David or who it was saying, but like, oh, they're saying because I try to say Monday isn't that bad of a day of the week, that like this is all the curse of Monday. But oh, not much. All right, I will keep adjusting that.
You have you tried going in and seeing if you can in the Discord setting and do the settings in there for like your the mic volume and see if that helps. I don't know if that might.
It probably would help, but my audio isn't going through quite the same way.
Yeah,
I've
I was
got
gonna say you've got all that other stuff going on, so that might not work.
yeah, exactly. It's a whole thing, but it like I said. So guys, it is Monday, and not only that, this is the week of Thanksgiving. So I felt like this would be a proper week to kind of give a little thanks, and kind of reminisce a little bit, perhaps, uh, and kind of settle in because all I know is this week I'm thinking turkey, I'm thinking big robots, also traditions of things that have kind of come and gone in the past. But before we get into that, real quick, let me say hello to people in the chat who've been so gracious as to stop by. Of course, I'm talking about guys like David Glenn, who's the first, oh, as always, the first one in. Hello, sir, and thank you very much for stopping on by. You, sir, you keep me going. You make sure that I am here on time. Thank you, thank you. Uh, Also down in the chat, we've got guys like that Agent Decibel, who's one of the biggest villains around, who I got to finally watch Overlord. Which, by the way, great series. My weekly plug for Overlord, which everyone should be watching. Uh, Also in there's pop culture mechanic, the another waifu appreciator. So hello, sir. But anyway, Diesel. It has been Monday, so let's start. What's been going on in your world?
We I've been doing, and I don't know. It's been, man. I've kind of like drifted off and haven't caught up with everybody on the Club Comic Shop in a while. And I've been doing on Sundays, man. I do a sci-fi stream with my buddy Iron Oxide, and we're doing basically just good science fiction stuff, games, comics, collectibles, toys, all kinds of stuff. We've just been talking about good stuff. And a lot of people will tend to be focused on a lot of the negative these days. And I just thought, hey man, we should get together and talk about the awesome stuff that we like, so that we could it's nice to just because you never run out of good stuff. We're going through, I think we've done like Resident Evil. We've gone over like when Alien Romulus came out. We did it like an alien when we talked about that, kind of went over that for an episode. And it's nice to talk about good stuff because there's like a never ending supply of stuff like that. And it's pretty cool. And I kind of thought that it'd be nice to have a show where we could like concentrate, you know, have not necessarily be guest focused, but have a guest sometime. Hey man, you want to come on and talk about your collection or something like that? That's awesome. Hey, you want to come in and talk about your favorite movie? We could do that, or your favorite game or something. Just kind of, it's good science fiction stuff that we enjoyed. We talked about Transformers 1 and kind of talking about that, compare and contrast a little bit to the 86 animated movie. It's just it's really I've enjoyed it. It's nice to kind of sit and talk about stuff that we really like rather than focus on stuff that's bad. And if there's any newer stuff, like I said, like Alien Romulus, which I really enjoyed, we'll talk about that. But mostly we kind of go over stuff that we like. I kind of want to do maybe for a while do like an X Files deep dive. Maybe we can do that for a month or two, talk about that or something. But yeah, that's kind of been where I'm at here recently.
And I'm so happy that trend is catching on because I am seeing more and more people that have been starting to follow that route because it has just been so well. One, the market is really super flooded for all of the. And I don't want to say outrage, but outrage or hate porn, but just all the negativity that catches all the headlines where it's so easy to kind of lean into that for trying to make your way on YouTube, but it's this positive stuff. I want to like get into the stuff that I'm enjoying. Like
Yeah.
the thing is, we're nerds. There's all this stuff we're super passionate about, and it's so easy to get into why we dislike so many elements of a lot of these different shows. But but it but the thing is, it's like, well, why don't we focus on the stuff we do like for a while?
Yeah, I know. That's what, and that's cool, man. If you've got something you want to talk, like we might could do some Gundam stuff sometime. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just to me it was just everybody wants to talk about Disney's doing this or Disney's doing, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to watch bad stuff, and I don't want to have all this negative just talk. I want to talk about cool stuff, man. I don't know. I just there's so much awesome stuff that we've seen over the years. Like I mean, man, I could sit and I could talk about aliens for forever. I could go and do a deep dive on that for forever. Like a couple of like about a month or two ago, we also went over like the Riddick movies. I really like I like those movies. I like Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and then the one from 2012, and I think they're working on another one right now. And it's just any kind of niche or not so niche things. We went over the Resident Evil games and the movies. Like, those movies, some people might not dig them, and like I think I kind of like them. They're just like one of those things that it's like, all right, this is kind of stupid fun. At least the first five of them, like the Mila Jovovich and Paul Anderson movies, those were you kind of like some people, you love them or hate them. They are what they are. They're different from the games, but like they're kind of enjoyable. I enjoyed, watching some of them, except for that last one. I'm not gonna lie, that last one was not very. That one was, that wasn't that great. But it's just neat it's just cool to talk about. And if somebody has something they want to come on and talk about, like, hey man, we'll do a whole show. Like, if you just want to talk about like your collection, if you got some action figures or whatnot you want to talk about, we can do that. And I just it's cool stuff that you're positive and passionate about and enjoy. That's cool.
Well,
And we'll never run out of stuff to talk about too, because there's always good stuff going way back, and then you can always go back and re-talk about something if it's been a while.
yeah. And real quick, let me say hi. Let me say hello to Punkwaddle, who may in fact be stopping by to join us. Uh, I see you. I see you there in the chat. But that's the fun thing. That's the real fun thing I'm finding is that there's always like one other little rock to overturn, or a series that gets completely overlooked. You start looking back at, and then like that kind of starts drawing out all these eyes and all this attention. Like you might turn around and be like, hey, why don't we talk about like let's check out this Kevin Sorbo Hercules series. Like that was a thing. And then you go check
Yeah.
it out, and it's like, you know, this might have been just kind of like a B or C grade show, like a C grade show back in the day, but it's pretty entertaining now to go back and watch it. Where it's just like all the cheesy one-liners, all the kind of hamminess. It's like, yeah, it's pretty formulaic, but God, it's just entertaining, and plus it's kind of playing with a bit of that like fantasy and kind of a little bit of the Greek mythology in there. So it's like there's a lot in there to kind of get into and enjoy. And if you
Yeah.
want to talk about some other stuff, like what about Mila Jokovic? Like, all right, no, I'm thinking Kate Beckinsale. Sorry, for some reason I keep mixing those two up.
Well, no, no. Hey, man, they both wore like skin tight, like they were in the. They both wore like the leather, the outfits and stuff like that. So yeah, I could see the. Hey, man, I could see the
So it's like
crossover, the
you want
confusion
to talk
there,
about
man.
that? Like we got Underworld with all that like the black leather
Yeah,
look, mm,
like
all the insanity
yeah,
fighting
just
werewolves.
man, that just reminded me of something that I was just so, and it was one of the first shows that I remember watching online was Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. I loved that show
Oh
when it
yeah.
was on, man. That and it was like canceled, I guess, after two seasons and whatnot. And I was like, oh man, I wanted to see where that went. And I'll tell you something else. If you haven't seen it, that Terminator Zero anime, man, that is good. It is
Ooh.
so good.
That's the
I
one
want
on
to say
Netflix,
it's
right?
yeah, I think it is. And dude, it's not it like takes place in Japan. It's like, man, I don't want to spoil anything, but like I had no idea where it was going. I was watching it, and I still until like the end of it, I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't sure. It's like some other people might could take a guess at what was going on, but me, I was just sitting there the whole time. Wait, what are they doing? I don't. This is yeah, it is awesome. Because you're not following like the whole John Connor, the whole Sarah Connor type thing. This is something. This is a completely different story, like in the Terminator universe, and then it takes place in Japan, dude. And it's man, it's fantastic. I love it.
You know, I've always had this theory and this idea about what I would do with Terminator, and it's just quite simply to follow the like Back to the Future model, where like we got to go back further back in time. Like think about the Terminator in the Wild West.
Well, even in Terminator in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, there was one that went back to like the 20s, like during Prohibition, and
Exactly.
it was doing all this stuff that built up it like an empire, and I think it wound up um like building itself in a wall and was like waiting for a certain, waiting for like a Judgment Day or somewhere around in there to like reactivate again. It was pretty cool, and like I always thought. See, I thought, especially when I really liked Salvation, and I was like, you don't have to have Arnold Schwarzenegger to have a Terminator movie, and I wanted to see where they were going with that series. To me was like the movie that was actually pretty good. I really liked that. A lot of that movie caught a lot of hate, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the thing. The thing is, oftentimes I always find myself kind of getting so picky with shows where I'm like, I don't know about this because there's always that idea of like time
Yeah.
is finite. So it's always like, oh, I'm always kind of asking myself if like, do I want to like dedicate myself to this or like to be honest, like I'm just finally getting around to watching Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh yeah, that's man. Hey, did you start with like the anime, the '95 anime?
Yep, that's right what I'm going through right now. I think I'm on episode
That's
like
that's what I was gonna say. That's where it's going. That's where I'd start with too, man. That's good. I really really like. I saw that. Yeah, that you have what's her name sitting there drinking the beer
mm-hmm.
in,
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
background.
Well, I can't remember
And
her name.
oh,
Eh,
I
she'll
can't either, man.
she'll pop up in no time. But yeah, no,
That
it's
it.
like she's totally like the best character. I'm like I relate to
Yeah,
her.
and
She's
I know
she's doing a great
Jobby
job.
loves um he loves Evangelion. Has done and has reviewed a bunch of the like figures and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool because it's like I don't know. It's such a wild, just wrapping your head around it and trying to say, man, it's really deep. And then the movies kind of go later on after you go through the anime. But I would definitely. I watched like the '95 anime. I watched through that two or three times before I started going to
The
the
other takes on it.
yeah, the movies that like I think what they did was like they made it's called Rebuild, I believe, where they made the they kind of did a movie or two that kind of compressed like the original '95 anime. It was kind of kind of the same story, but they, compressed it a little bit. I guess probably be comparable to where they made the Gundam for Mobile Suit Gundam, where they made the movies, the what was it, like the three movies that,
Oh, the trilogy.
yeah, yeah, instead of, to kind of compress the original series.
Yep. Hey, real
Had to
quick.
find
Uh,
that's good.
all right, Fat Rick Folds. I'm getting called out in my own chat here, because my Annie list is
Ah,
quite long, and I mean, yes, but also, to be fair, most of that stuff like I'd like to see, and I mean, yeah, I'd like. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. Like I'd like to read War and Peace one of these days, but am I realistically gonna do that? Probably not.
it's Masato. That's her name.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Pin Pin,
Mm-hmm.
the little penguin. Oh, Pin Pin. Yeah.
Speaking of Pen, like Punk, I wonder where Punkwild's at because I saw him pop into the chat there. But anyway, so with this week being Thanksgiving, uh, I think it's always kind of worth asking. It's one of these months, one of these days, the holidays where I don't know about you, but I have certain traditions I always have a tendency to lean into. And with that said, I'd like to ask you: are there any traditions you happen to do? Is there any particular movies you happen to watch around this time of year? And just to lay one example out for myself, I'm always in the habit of on Thanksgiving I'm out at my mom's and I'll usually be kind of sitting in a uh, little corner of the kitchen and I've got my laptop out or whatnot and I'm watching through the I'm watching through the the MST3K Turkey Day marathon.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Well, I'll tell you what, I now well we always we'll go, like, for my family, we'll go over, like this year, like we did last year, we'll go over to my brother's. But what I have to do, and this goes back to like when I was a kid, is I've already got it stuck in my head, man. I have got to, like, listen to the Little Birdie song from the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I love that song. Little birdie. That one, it sounds like it's like from the 70s or something, that's in the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I love that freaking song. That just feels like Thanksgiving, man. I've got to watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving here soon. Because to me, when I was a kid, it was so special when you see the little CBS special thing, and the little swirling thing would come on, and it would play the music, and then that was like the where you'd see the Charlie Brown Christmas Thanksgiving, or a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, and then it'd be like you also Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But man, I did Thanksgiving is like Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I love that. But I love that Little Birdie song, man. When he's sitting there, when Snoopy's like snapping his finger, and he's getting Woodstock out, and they go to set up the chairs and all the tables and all the stuff, and Snoopy gets in the fight with the one folding chair.
So so speaking of birds, Punkwaddle finally
Yeah.
stopped by.
Well, yeah, you mentioned Pen outright, and you're talking about penguins. So I feel like that was a call to action, if anything. Now you're talking about the birdie fighting a chair. I'm feeling called out. So yeah.
Cool. Good to
So
see you, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah. I know it's been a while. I do. It's fun to hear your traditions and stuff too. I don't want to derail the conversation, but yeah,
what
I
what
hop
what,
on in anyway.
what about you, Punkwaddle? What's been your what's been a tradition you usually do with Thanksgiving? Are you one of those
Mm.
watch the Macy's Day Parade type of guys?
Let's see. If it depends. Like this year, we'll probably be traveling Thursday morning to get where we're going. So if I'm in my location, sometimes if I'm waking up drinking coffee, it's fun to put on the TV. Like if we're with family and nieces and nephews, and there's kind of like Christmas too. If they're all around, you watch the parade. You have breakfast. You just kind of saunter and mosey and just I don't know, you just to get to soak in the fact that it's a holiday and you don't have to do anything but enjoy your time with friends and family. And, you know, occasionally, well, my family's not too bad. We don't have to skirt too many subjects, but you know what I mean? I do like the Charlie Brown for sure. That is a classic. And the older I get, the more those little things, the childlike wonder things that always kind of call me back. You know, kind of like, well, getting on my head of myself, getting into watching, you know, Muppets Christmas and Christmas time like I hadn't done in a long time, but now that's becoming more of a thing too. So, yeah.
You know, I actually don't think I've seen the Peanuts Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah, I think I've somehow never seen that one, but I've got it.
Nice on VHS, DVD, and high def Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure, it's one of those.
Yeah,
So
man, it was like I don't know. When I was a kid, it was like, and it's so different now with everything, you know. But the whole, you know, you can see any of these shows anytime you wanted to. But back then, you know, because I'm old as dirt, man. Like in the '80s, it was just so cool when it would like you would get. That's when the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving would come on in that little swirl, and I can see it in my head, man. The little CBS
Yeah.
special thing that would turn,
Like,
and it was like the little drum thing, yeah. And that
yeah.
was so cool, man. And like Thanksgiving was great because we'd always, when I was a kid, we watched like the Thanksgiving Day parade or whatnot, man. And I think Goku got him a big upgrade. I think I saw a parade float or something. Maybe it was about a week or two ago. I think, or if he's going to be in the parade this year.
Wasn't Luffy in the parade last year?
he was.
One of them.
No,
I mean,
Pikachu's always in the parade.
yeah, I mean, Pikachu's been here since the
Since the
90s.
2000s,
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, almost in the
yeah.
90s, like 99, yeah.
Whoa, Snack showed up.
Yeah, Pop did. It
As,
Oh man, it's the delicious bowl of ramen.
is.
So actually,
Hungry
so
now.
let me. Yeah. Let me. I can't talk. Let me share my screen with you guys, but it, you know, let's hope they have better luck this year than they did last year with the Luffy float.
Uh-oh.
Luffy float.
I remember this.
Was there a Luffy float last year?
I'm sorry, not a float. They had a balloon,
Oh, balloon.
and
Mm.
and the his
The
straw hat
hat.
popped.
Oh, that's what that is. I was like the hat.
And I
Mm.
remember at the time,
Yeah.
people
He's been
were
in the
all
rain.
yeah, people were all into it, and they started like drawing Luffy with like a floppy bucket hat.
It does look like a floppy bucket hat.
It kind of looks like he's been in the rain or something.
Yeah, it kind of looks like. I don't know what it looks like. It's supposed to be a straw
He
hat.
looks like he should be wearing some.
Yeah.
No, guys. He's supposed to wear
What
some
are all the
camo, and he's supposed to drop a new album.
what are all the people wearing that are carrying the balloon, man? What is that? What outfit is that?
So
It looks like just like a band uniforms almost.
yeah, basically, it's basically
Oh,
this
yeah.
it's basically a work uniform. They have all the float people wear, and theirs just happens to have the straw hat, skull and crossbone.
Ah, cool.
And you know, hey, they got to have a matching yellow cap.
Heard that.
Do they all of them do that for every one of the balloons? They wear like a uniform like that or something?
Yeah, I'm
Some
pretty
kind of matching uniform. They usually dress the same, you know.
I would think that they would. I don't know. There's nothing about that outfit that really screams One Piece. Maybe the big logo on the whatever that what is that trying to think of the name. It looks like a what is that thing called that you wear in the kitchen?
Well, the sailor uniform guy kind of looks I don't know if that's a sailor uniform or is it just like a chef coat thingy. Okay, yeah, they have they're dressed in all like red. They have like some like yellow beanies to signify the straw hat, and they have like big old bibs with the straw hat skull crossbones.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's the red and blue of Luffy. So
Yeah.
but it's like I said, it's
I get what
basically
they're
done for like
trying
a
to
safety
do.
thing because you don't want to make sure you have people sort of in uniforms because like this is a very high. There's a lot of people out at this. This would be a prime location for something to happen.
Yeah. And it also signifies like for security reasons, like, hey, this person's working the balloon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
This
I
random
just
person is going to grab it. They're supposed to grab it. That's where they're supposed to be. Don't mess with them.
I don't know. I just think they could. I mean, I know they all have to wear the same outfit, but I'd like. It looks like
It
you'd
don't
think it'd
feel like
make
One Piece.
something a little bit more One Piece-ish or something. It's like they're wearing a what's that thing that you wear in the kitchen, like the
A
old school, like
parka,
An
Yeah,
apron.
it looks
oh,
like they're wearing
an
an
apron.
apron. Yeah.
an apron, yeah, or something like that, a burqa.
Yeah, it's just a big old apron with Luffy's coat of arms.
And it actually kind of looks like the thing they put on you when they give you X-rays,
Oh
and they
yeah,
put the big lead thing on you.
Oh,
Oh, the big lead apron. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
Kind of
big
like that.
lead.
it's a bib.
that's
Yeah,
It's a
I guess
bib.
that's
you would call that a bib of some sort.
But guys, I do have one or two little things here I want to touch on because I did put it in the thumbnail. But before we get to that, snacks. Do you have any Thanksgiving traditions of your own? Anything you might regularly do?
Um, well, I help the family with cooking. We watch some football sometimes. I don't really tune into the Macy Day Parade as religiously as some others. If it's on, I'll look at it and be like, "Oh, there's the Charlie Brown float, balloon, this, that, and the other thing." Yeah, but
You know,
mostly just that, really.
the family will go put it on, and I'll
Yeah.
watch it for a few minutes, and it's like, yeah, it's all right, but I can't stand just the sheer amount of like celebrity stuff where it's like, yeah, we gotta bring out like, Rick Ashley is saying never gonna give you up for like a minute, and then we're gonna move on to the
Or
next
it's some
float.
hip hop act person that I don't know, and they're singing some random song, and I'm just like, I have better things to do.
I'm like, yeah,
Thanksgiving dinner is not yet prepped up, and they need to help the gang. You know.
yeah, yeah, that's how it usually goes. But so I do have at least a story to touch on that. Again, I put in the thumbnail, so I feel like I'm obligated to
Okay.
touch on this. So
Also, I did the I've been it's been a new tradition is the stream with Tommy the Turkey.
oh yeah, that's right. You do have a Thanksgiving stream to do.
Yeah, yeah. I think I started at 7:30 last year. I think I'll do the same. 7:30, 7:45.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get a couple of friends to stop on by. You know,
Oh
maybe
yeah,
Punkwaddle.
I'll send out the link to everyone.
I mean, it would be kind of funny if it was only like you and Punkwaddle, so it'd be like you know, bird chat.
The bird chat. All right.
But so this
Ooh.
past week, we've been getting quite a bit of news out of
no.
Hasbro. Because we
So, oh yeah.
on two fronts we've gotten a little bit of news just to set this up for you guys. Is that Hasbro has been saying that they no longer want to be in the realm of financing these movies, and also at the same time we have Elon Musk shitting on them on Twitter or X.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So, help me out here. Have they said they don't want to make toys at all, or is it they saying they don't want to co-finance these games and co-finance these movies because they've been essentially co-financing with figures for how many years with Disney and all this stuff and losing so much money because if you look at all the you know discount bins, all the stuff's just sitting around, right?
hmm,
Right, and
yeah.
that's sort of the crux of that's one side of the coin that's been going on because toys don't have the sort of profit margins that they once did, because like the majority of people who do buy toys
Yeah.
are more of us adult collectors. I mean, that's just the sad state of things. And you can go down to your
Right.
local Ross's or your local what's the other one?
Ollie's.
Yes, thank you. It's the Ollie's.
Yeah.
You'll be able to find
Ollie's
like
is really taken over.
yep, Ollie's is big. It's gotten to the point
Bukus.
where now they're getting sued by shareholders over this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to me, like the quality, dude, just looking at like the quality of the the mainline Transformers is garbage, man. To me, I think they're garbage for the past few years. Like I picked up a couple of like the Legacy Armada figures, and they're just hollow trash. Like I got the Armada Starscream, like the legs are all hollow. They won't stay on. I mean, the boxes, they don't even put a window in the box. They just have it open where you can just stick your hands in there and touch it on the store and shelf.
I think they redacted that decision here recently because I've seen some either with no plastic or like plastic or just kind of open space, because that has been a trend a lot of people went on and then kind of kicked back, except for ironically there's a few collectors like in the side note like Nendroids and some of those Asian figure collectibles. Some of them are toying with the idea of no viewing box, which completely negates the whole idea of having a protected box for a collectible. But
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I didn't want to buy a toy either or a figure if I couldn't even see the quality of it.
Well, it's the thing is though, the price has gone up. What they consider like a Voyager is like a deluxe, and it's like 20 something dollars, and it just I could just the quality, like the feel of the plastic, the way that the figure holds together, it's terrible. Like I could look at like I've got several of the deluxe class figures from the War for Cybertron game from like 2010, and some of the Fall of Cybertron from 2012, and the quality of the plastic on those figures and the figure itself is just like worlds above the stuff that's come out in the last few years. Like, I mean, I was just so disappointed in that Armada Starscream that they call a Voyager, which is essentially a deluxe, and it's just the plastic is just it's soft. It's this thing just is not put together well at all, and it's just hollow. And if their quality has been going down and their prices have been going up, and it's no wonder. And I know what they're doing. They're trying to recover some kind of loss in the profit, but like while they're doing that, they're making the quality of figures way lower and the price higher, and then people are tuning out. And then you've got, like you said, you go to Ollie's, man. It's nothing but a whole wall or a whole aisle of nothing but like Marvel garbage and Star Wars garbage that nobody wants.
And
And it used to be like the Star Wars stuff. They've just destroyed the brand because Star Wars used to be something that would sell like an insane amount. I mean that was stuff that when there were no movies, like you could go in 2008 and like I remember because they had a lot of the retro GI Joe stuff. Like I got a lot of the 3 3/4 figures from Target. So there was always Star Wars stuff, and it was always selling out.
yeah, and there's been a number of things been going on, because you got to remember like little things were going on. Like there was a trend where people were stealing like the heads off the LeBron James figures from the that Space Jam movie he was in, where people were just taking those. And so
Really?
that's sort of a downside of like open packaging, is that it increases the odds or the ability for people to just reach in and take pieces out of the box. And but also you turn around, you have the closed package, and it just I've heard horror stories about people like buying them off buying the sealed figures off the shelf, and when they went to go take it home and open it up, it would be like a rolled up newspaper. As in, some scalper went in and took the figure out, returned it, and the Walmart, Myers, whatever, went and just put it right back on the shelf to as stock. Or in one case, I heard someone got a banana. But anyway, with all of this said, like there's been this big story
Wait,
going
was
on.
it? Hold on. Was it a real banana or like a plastic banana?
Oh, it was a real banana.
Oh, a rotted banana sounds terrible.
Yeah. So you look at the state of Hasbro, and they're in a state right now where they've they sort of have to contend with with they got used to the COVID years because sales were up on everything. People were trapped inside. They were spending money like crazy on hobbies. Dungeons and Dragons was at its peak during the COVID years, and people and Magic the Gathering was a license has always been a license to print money. It is a $1 billion brand for them, and their plan has been to by and large put Dungeons and Dragons into that same category. And you turn around and they're looking at what all they have going on. Monopoly Go within its first year made like $3 billion. So it's an insane amount of money. It's like we could be sitting here and playing around with you know with the GI Joe stuff, which it does okay, or we could try to make like GI Joe Go, which is like a mobile game in which you could choose to be on Team Joe or Team Cobra and trying to like take bases over. Like people would be all over that.
I had to step away for just a second. I don't know why is the clear plastic thing a big deal. I don't understand. That can't cost that much more than like just putting just to have windowed packaging.
It
To go back to that. Is
It
it?
So
I
the big
think
reason for that
it's
was to
okay.
be able to play up the
Hmm.
eco-friendly angle.
Oh, that's some garbage.
Right.
Oh, that's good.
And then okay, the best
First,
thing about that is like you say you're buying a huge transformer, right? But it made of all this plastic and all this intentional detail, but like the clear plastic to see the actual figure that you bought is not having that and is saving the environment. Like that's the
it's
it's
not
almost
saying, and
like
I
the
can.
whole thing about
You're not saving the environment anyway, man. That's nothing but virtue
well
signaling
it
nonsense as
well
it is. But like,
it's kind of well I was gonna compare it to like all the almond milk that requires all the bees, that get, for all the people who are vegan and can't hurt animals, but the bees get abused for that. Or what I'm learning about because of the FDA decided certain products aren't safe to put in soap anymore that everybody's putting palm oil in their soap, and now they have to have these certifications say like, oh, this was legally sourced palm because everybody's getting it from Indonesia. Like
oh my
you're
god,
you're not circumventing
it's
anything, you're not
madness.
saving anything, right? It's the same
Madness,
absurdity with
dude.
the plastic.
It's insanity. And the thing is, and I can understand like when you've got like a bigger figure, like a Titan figure or something like that, not having the plastic on there because you want to protect, you want something solid for like I've got the big Generations Metroplex, and there's no place for a
Okay.
window. But anything like, especially a deluxe or having the clamshell thing, or like
Mhm.
it's you want to be able to have a window, but just leaving that open because it's better for the environment. That's I don't know. Everything that
Well,
they've been
it,
doing has just been it's like
well,
they keep trying to they're not fixing the problem, and they're making lower quality and upping the prices, and people are like tapping out. They're just like and
it's
I've been noticed. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I keep on.
no, no, it's like duping the people, right? Because as we have said for quite a few years now, that all these figures and toys are basically being collected by adults. They're not really for kids anymore. So all the people buy these things with the clamshell, with the open face, with the the visible plastic viewing spot, so you can see that the figure's there, and they leave it there. They get them graded, right? They leave them sealed. They put them in protective cases, and then in a few years they auction them off because they're a item. Now, like you said, either it's just a crappy Schrodinger's, figure. Is it really inside? Like how much you're gonna pay to see if it's really inside, or it's just so poor quality that who's gonna want to collect it if they actually know what's inside anyway.
I know the quality just is it's falling off a cliff, and I know what they're doing. They're up it. That's when they jacked up the prices on deluxes to go from like $12 to like 20, and it's
When
like they're
when
trying to.
Funko
They
Pop,
think they're trying.
oh,
They're
yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I'll
No, I was
just
gonna say that they think they're gonna try to recoup loss by like lowering
Mhm.
putting less plastic in the product or something, and then upping the price. But it's not. That's not going to work. You've got to address like the root cause. Like if you know that there's a giant majority of your collectors, Transformers especially, you've got adult collectors, man. You gear towards that, and I think they found a pretty good balance there for a while. I think that the War for Cybertron Netflix show, that line, that little trilogy, I think that was geared a lot towards adult collectors, especially, and it leaned very heavily into Generation One. And I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
the quality of those figures, I think, were fantastic, man. For the most part, everything that I saw looked really, really good. But it was just like right after that, it's like it fell off a cliff.
Well,
It's
that
it's
was
it,
that would have been
that
right around the time that the CEO had passed away, because like what Chris Cox moved from
Okay.
Is
Wizards of the
that
Coast, he
that
got
makes
moved up.
sense? Somebody, yeah, that
For sure.
makes now that you've
Cash
said
grab.
that, that makes perfect sense to see. I knew, yeah, you could tell there was just something there was something there that absolutely changed, and there you go.
with the toy collecting and all that stuff, it's like you'll get some serious toy collectors that will buy the Hasbro or whatever things, But when you think of like, oh, let's buy a little tchotchke toy, what is everyone getting? What's in like covers the whole walls of your local comic book store or your random nerd shop?
The
What's
the
what's
fun
what's the thing that there's a whole wall of?
is it the Funko stuff?
It's the Funko Pops. And the Funko Pops,
Yep.
they've taken like I want to say real estate. I actually literally mean like real estate in the stores and
Yeah, they are.
in
Yeah,
general. And
yeah.
your mom and pop, your freaking Aunt Susie's just go like, oh, here's the thing, and they're catching the normies too. Freaking Aunt Susie's gonna
Oh yeah.
grab a $5 freaking Funko Pop opposed to like
Yeah,
a
like
$20 random actual decent figurine.
They
yeah,
got the
my
modern Beanie Baby.
Yeah,
mine, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Except like I think the Beanie
it's
Baby has
worse
more
than that.
point. No, the Beanie Babies actually are kind of they're kind of adorable, and they have like I would say I could argue that Beanie Babies have points of articulation. You wanted to
Yeah,
get
but the
down
Beanie
into it.
Babies don't suck the soul out of
Well, yeah.
different IPs.
The
Right.
Funko stuff, like my normie friend, she worked like a couple of doors down, and she had those things, and I have none of them. I never saw. I looked at it, and the first time I saw it, I was like, "Is this like a coffee mug? What is this thing?" I know I've never kind of understood the appeal of it, but those things are like, I don't know. And then have you noticed like I've gone Walgreens a lot. Have you noticed how there's a lot of those Hasbro figures? They look like they're about maybe 9, 10 inch figures, and it's like and it's like you'll see, and it's a very detailed looking, say like a Cobra Commander or a Duke, and the only thing that moves are the two arms and maybe the head. And I've seen like an Iron Man like that before. It's like
Yep.
10, $12 or something. Like you see, and there's these giant figures, and like
Mm-hmm.
the legs don't
Yeah.
move. The only thing that
Mm-hmm.
moves is like the arms move and stuff. And I'm like, they're so like as far as the face and everything, so show accurate, but it's like they don't move. I'm like, and I guess that's for somebody to give to some kid for a birthday party, but like
Yeah,
it just that just screams poor decision to me because it's not. You might,
Yeah.
I mean, what are you're gonna pick up somebody maybe picking it up for some kid's birthday party or something like that. But I mean, the thing is essentially trash after that because nobody's gonna want the thing where the legs don't even. I mean, that's more of a brick than my G1 toys I grew up with, dude.
I mean that's how these companies will do. They cheapen like it takes like 2 seconds to print out a brick than it does to print out something that's very intricate and looks good in detail, and you don't have to friggin' waste time on doing proper color notations and whatnot. Just a couple accent lines, and
Well,
then
I mean,
boom, there you go. There's our thing. It
well, I
looks
mean,
like Captain Marvel. Yay!
That's exactly what it is, dude. It's a 3D printed thing. You're right. That's like what it is, and it's a shame too because like, well, I've been kind of dialed out for a while. I haven't picked up a whole lot of mainline stuff in a long time. It's like I'll save up, like over a time again, and then maybe buy like some more expensive third party thing that looks like it walked out of the cartoon and all that kind of stuff. And I know, man, it might be kind of snobby and high roller and all that kind of thing, but since I picked them up, they're all, especially there's a company called Fans Toys, and man, and this is not, they're not cheap figures, man. They're like high end Transformers, slam full of die cast and like rubber tires, stuff like that, man. They're absolutely. I picked up like their Galvatron years back
Nice.
and got the thing, and it was like picking up like the intake from like my 71 Buick. There was so much metal in it. I was like, this isn't. But so they're
so real quick, I just want to say hello to Manowar 665, the neighbor of the beast, who's popped into chat. As is, with all,
the beast.
and it's with all this talk of toys as well. It seems as though we've summoned Andy Masterson, who stopped by.
oh, dude, Andy, what's up, man?
Now that's a high quality figure. It takes.
I know. I want to get. I talked to Andy. I want him to come on Space Jockey sometime and show off his figures, because the dude is an absolute he is a master of 1/6 scale figures. It's like the things he makes are absolute masterpieces, man. It's like he is like a craftsman, old school stuff that like people don't do anymore. I can't. When I see his figures, I'm blown away. And I know I've just went on my like simping for Andy thing, but like he is a master. What he makes is masterpiece stuff.
Well, I mean,
it's absolutely amazing.
Where else are you gonna go to get your Mexican Iron Man action figure?
Exactly, and he comes with a poncho. It's it's glorious, man. It's glorious.
I know he made little snowmen for snow recently. And like cool. It's not something you ask for sure, obviously, but I think it's really, really cool. Andy, that now and then you reveal your next figure for somebody in the fellowship or whatever you want to call it now, and it's always the lore and always the inside jokes and all the things that built up to the little details that you've created along the way. It's just fun. It's really fun.
When you did the thing for Chrissy Mayer, and it came with a filing cabinet, and inside the filing cabinet had a little file folder, and it said dick pics on the file folder. It was just it's hilarious, man. And it came, oh man, he is like they don't.
Yeah.
Well, it's everything is custom made. Sorry, I'm rambling now.
No,
yep,
you're good. So real quick, I did want to hit on this because this was one of the main topics I had for this week, and this was just Elon Musk telling Wizards of the Coast to burn in hell over the way they've been handling the legacy of Gary Gygax. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Gary Gygax is of course the one of the creators of Dungeons and Dragons. He was a man from the Midwest who went on to create a great game, and he was kind of a man of his time. So the thing is, he's got that sort of 60s 70s sort of idea of male and female roles. That's kind of to be expected from a man of that time. So it's just rather unfortunate that people are still trying to hold him to this like this ever changing modern lens of the the progressive. Being a good progressive, which is never enough.
It's an ever changing landmine landscape that you have to walk around on eggshells to try not to get yourself blown up by accidentally saying something that might quote unquote offend someone.
Exactly.
Well, They're like the people that you can never make their food correctly. They're always going to send it back and say something's wrong with it. Those are
Oh,
the people who you know what I mean?
that's exactly
Oh.
that's a perfect analogy, brother.
So
Yeah,
to
yeah.
give a little gist of what set this all off, there was a Twitter exchange where someone had been commenting that, it seems as though that Wizards of the Coast have been kind of less and less making mention of Gary Gygax, and I believe what Dave Arneson was the other prominent creator, and they've been kind of getting based. For anyone who doesn't know, they've basically been getting the Walt Disney treatment, to where the company is just kind of poo poos
Thrown
on the
under the
name.
bus.
Exactly. So there's this book coming out, the makings of the original Dungeons and Dragons, which is a history book they have coming out, which does include the original rules that had been put out, zero edition for lack of which I believe is kind of what the term people have been settled on. And at the very start of the book, there is this statement that came out that basically talks
Did
about
they give
how,
us a
like,
trigger warning?
exactly.
Oh, you're kidding. Really?
Seriously,
Oh, I'm not.
this is something that's been going on every time. In fact, it's to the point that if you were to go and buy a like a print-on-demand version of one of the classic adventures, like Ravenloft, uh, you will see when you go to buy it that there is this little apology, basically this little apology letter they 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 put as like a boilerplate on the books. So let me find this and I will show it to you.
Oh, I'm. Oh, I'm not
I'm not
surprised. But
surprised.
it's still just like. And Elon's an old school geek, man. I mean, he's the Diablo, record holder. So
Yeah,
like, I know he's big.
he's the number one Diablo guy. But anyway, this boilerplate statement says something to the extent of, "We, Wizards, recognize some of our legacy content available on this website does not reflect the values of Dungeons & Dragons franchise today. Some older content may reflect ethical, racial, or gender prejudices that were commonplace in the American society at that time. These depictions were wrong then and are wrong today."
What?
Yeah,
Wrong today?
What
So you
what's
What?
still believe in
wrong?
that? What does that mean? We
What's
were
oh
wrong
well,
What's
wrong?
today,
wrong?
but we corrected it today. Would be more, I guess, woke. I don't know.
Yeah, it's retroactively saying that we're saying that we don't like something retroactively. It's not saying that you're doing anything about it. It's like trigger warnings. We
It's
don't
Yeah.
it's
like
a
it,
Oh,
and you
it was
can
wrong
too.
then and it's wrong today. Yes.
it's
Okay.
it's a virtue signaling type of retcon to try to
Yeah.
apologize for some, like a thought crime apology for something that hasn't
It,
that someone might quote unquote find offensive, that look, somebody would go through, some miserable person that wants to go through and ruin things, that will go through. I just can't even imagine these people, and they're like
It's a
going through the
self-flagellating statement to
it is
people that had worked
flattering.
in the past. It's
Well,
apology
it's
on behalf of the company, which is
yeah, right. It's
yeah.
well, it's okay. It's one thing to apologize on behalf of the company, and this is what we represent, and this happened. It's another thing to like, we apologize for this person who created the company, who ran the company, who made it what it was, and we wouldn't have any leg to stand on if it wasn't for the dedication this person had to um, this whole industry. But we want to apologize for them and how they might have offended you because you might actually enjoy this game that they built, right? We're
and you
sorry, right?
But
and
you
Punkwaddle,
know
that'd get the Wokies all offended, all seven of them.
and
so
no
Mhm.
one is
so
actually offended by this. Someone went through this, some no life. Just, I can't even imagine. A creature went through this with their stuff with a fine tooth comb, looking for things to be
Oh
offended
yeah,
by.
it's
Like I said, they're the type of people that send their food back no matter what they get.
well,
Precisely.
it's worse than that though. Snacks. It's not sending the food back despite you get. It's going in and having everybody that order something, and then and making sure that you inspect all their food and tell them. Even though that person was like, "No, it's perfect. I like it. I don't mind a crispy edge." They're like, "No, you need to send it back, and you need to do it right. You need to apologize, and I'm sorry for them, and they need to do this." Like it's overstepping to instead of algebraically, it's like geometrically, right? Or vice
So,
versa.
so
and
part of
keeping everyone else. Oh, sorry.
so basically part of kind of what some people don't seem to understand in the modern day with this is a little bit of the history of where Dungeons and Dragons originated, which was from the wargaming scene. It was sort of an expansion upon, instead of having these big fields of massive armies a la Warhammer 40K, like something like that you would expect with like Napoleonic era battles, historical battles, stuff like that. It was always an attempt to try to replicate that was where Dungeons and Dragons had originated, was making these like hero characters and letting them have these fights, which is why you would get terms like fighting man, because a lot of this is just purely historical. And so the problem is people don't seem to like that idea, or they don't necessarily know, and people have kind of overly criticized this. So there you have some people apparently trying to imply that uh, having Tiamat, the five-headed dragon, dragon goddess, as this bastion of evil, people are reading into it and thinking it's sexist when they may not necessarily know actual Hindu history of that, which they also will then complain, oh, that's cultural appropriation. There's no
And
winning
also
with these
racism.
people.
It's just
It's so frustrating.
It's a bunch of gobbledygook and madness, and it's just like, how can any sane human? Oh, it just it stresses me out even trying to.
And this basically
blood pressure.
this ultimately came to a boil when Mark Kern, a la Grums, the former
Yeah,
dev of
yeah,
World of
Grums.
Warcraft,
Yeah, you know him.
he commented on this, and then his post got seen by Elon Musk, who basically said Wizards of the Coast can go fuck itself.
I mean, yeah.
Yep. Agent Despel's got it there in the chat. Tiamat represented chaos in this to the Sumerians. It's going into the actual history of it.
So Tiamat is actual. See, I'm not growing up, man, in the rural South. I didn't know anybody that played D&D. I would have loved to have played that if I was a kid. If I knew about it or knew anybody that played it, the only thing I knew about was the cartoon. So Tiamat was in the cartoon, so it was an actual character from D&D, which is cool. Oh, awesome.
Yep. And the nice thing is now we can just easily run this stuff. Now we have the ability to connect all of the world, so we can go do our own stuff. If you wanted to just lead into all the tropes and all the stuff, we're more than capable of doing all that. Basically, it got to a point where Elon Musk commented on it.
It's cool that Elon saw Grum's post.
Yeah, nobody, and I mean nobody, gets to trash.
Well, Twitter's part of his job now.
Yeah. So
I think one of his comments is like, "My job is literally shit post."
Yeah. So especially when you get paid for it. So ultimately, there's kind of the meme of like, Elon, buy it, make it better, which I don't quite know if that's always the best answer, but
buy that news channel that's dying.
Well,
like,
it's just
you don't need to buy that. Just let it die.
The thing is, there is a possibility. There's an idea, and to float the idea to consider it. One of the big things that's making money with Dungeons and Dragons is its D&D Beyond, the online virtual tabletop stuff they're working on, that they're looking to set up a monthly fee for. And in theory, Elon could say offer to buy Wizards of the Coast off their hands, plug D&D into X, make it part of your subscription fee, and hey, maybe start running some games through X. He's been talking about making the everything in one go-to app.
I mean, I wouldn't mind paying a little extra if it means like setting up a nice little gaming session with friends.
Right, and you could, beyond just your normal X premium account, it could have a specialty account that would focus on the gaming or something like that. Say somebody just wanted to do the gaming, and they may just charge this amount or something like that. You got to give him credit though for listen, him buying X. It's a game changer. Thank you, Elon, man, for giving some of us a voice, brother.
Thank you, Elon.
I will say this, that whether Elon does anything with MSNBC or Wizards of the Coast, there's people out there that have been seeing the writing on the wall with video games and Wizards of the Coast and some of the stuff for a while now, and have been developing their own home brews and trying to figure out how to market and having gaming platforms and having creating systems that can uh, go sci-fi or fantasy, right? Like there was a guy I was talking to. I think it's still in the works. So I'm not exactly sure where it is, but he's working on a D10 system. I think.
That's pretty popular.
Yeah, but his idea is trying to just incorporate different worlds and different tropes and different stuff. And I mean, there's something to be said that if you're going to be marketable, there's certain um, copyright infringements and certain things unless you have permission. But also, you can also have like the caveats and write it in and be like, okay, if you want to do your own home brew and you want equivalencies, or certain mech things, or we have characters, or we have stat sheets that kind of fit those. And if you want to call them this thing, or if you want to base them off this other existing thing, this is how you would play them in our world and work from there, right? And allow them to integrate into the system. And once again, maybe make some money off it, but also create a system that isn't trying to control somebody else's imagination. Because isn't this all about like the creativity that's feeling like it's being stifled, right?
Well, yeah. So the reality is, like, basically Wizards of the Coast reminded the whole TTRPG hobby space. I don't want to say community because it's
right.
It's
a dirty word.
Yeah, there's been so many other games that came along, like when Wizards of the Coast, for example, pulled the OGL debacle like in January of last year, like within the first week of 2023. It caused this like domino effect that across the entire hobby space that got everyone pissed off at them. Like, and it led to a lot of the competition to have their best sales years ever. Like, for example, Pathfinder, which is probably the top RPG competitor in that fantasy space, sold through 8 months worth of books within 2.5-3 weeks. Like, it was, you could not get a copy of Pathfinder to save your life. And ultimately, yeah, Age of Decibels kind of got it right there. Just play Castling Crusades, which is another fantastic system. Castling Crusades also, because very on point here, is made by a company called Trollord Games, and they were the company that would last work with Gary Gygax before he passed away. Their system, basically, a lot of what Gary was doing was worked into it. In fact, they're currently selling a book that is some of his last adventures. They're putting one out called like Castle Zagig. They have an entire RPG coming out that they have an entire like RPG setting that's perfect for that with his stuff. Also, one other one I would recommend is Amazing Adventures, which is something is a kind of more generic system you can use to, like, say, have sci-fi adventures and have all these adventures into different settings. So there's a lot of alternatives out there. If this will load, there we go. It's got, it's the original version was kind of a steampunk 1920s-esque thing, which I digged. But that is one of the big prominent alternatives out there that I wanted to touch on. So with that, guys, any last words about the Hasbro and or Dungeons & Dragons?
I think it would be really good. Personally, I think Hasbro could get turned around. I think what they need is somebody to help run the company that's a fan. I think that would help them tremendously if they had a few people on there who were like genuine. You get somebody that likes D&D, somebody that likes Transformers, somebody that's a collector, loves toys, this kind of stuff, man. And I think you could turn that company around, dude.
The thing about Dungeons and Dragons, which I love so much, is it doesn't matter if they're woke as hell or as anti-woke as hell. You know, it's the you have people who write their own stories. You have people that and it's the way you play it. You can bastardize the game as much as you want, as long as the rules are somewhat structured. You're gonna have a fun time, and it doesn't matter who holds the keys to the IP. It's who's playing at the table with you.
Your
So
imagination, right?
I mean,
it's
Well,
your
like,
game,
just to
just
just just
as
to show
long as
this
the GM's not a dickhead, you're gonna have a fun time.
just to show this art off here, we've got all this possibility. We've got crazy monsters. We got
awesome.
people flying around with jetpacks. We have giant mech walkers flying around.
Yeah, dude,
So
that looks dope, dude.
this is
Ooh, wow.
this is basically the world of Thundar the Barbarian, as possible.
Okay.
You could go from running like World War II adventures fighting Cthulhu and dinosaurs to space adventures, and like you could have like a World War II thing. They have some stuff coming out soon for John Carter of Mars.
Okay. Well, and
That's
it's
awesome.
the thing about Hasbro, and this is the monopoly. This goes back to the '80s. What we're seeing in Hasbro, Disney, all these companies where like the big CEO that has his pet project, like every '80s, like Real Genius and all this stuff, like all these movies are about them getting foiled by the smart ass kids who are geniuses who know better, who basically you're like, you're too old, you're too jaded, you're so too focused on making money, and you've missed the point, and you've missed the heart of everything. And there's well, I mean, it really is, but like there's this turn, like it's not just the teenagers of
You
America.
can't tear down our clubhouse. Take that.
You can't build condos on the beach. We're gonna have beach volleyball like Mad
Yeah, yeah,
Cheese and
yeah.
Mo
I
wants
see
to
what you're
have with
saying.
shirtless and stuff. But like,
Trippers. I like Matt's idea.
yeah. So aside from that, and I know we'll bring all the Mads to the yard, but it's not just the teenagers of our youth are revolting. It's like it's everybody's, like you said, Ironcaster, like you're saying, like this is this positivity. Like we're tired of the complaining. We're tired of all this mudslinging. We're tired of you know the things that happened a few weeks ago. It's all of this just like
Unnecessary trigger warnings.
right trigger warning. Just like why can't we just go enjoy stuff, have fun? This is stuff that we grew up with. This is the stuff that made us hearty, made us laugh at things, made us laugh at ourselves and all this stuff. And in this human creativity, the fact that Hasbro tried to harness it and tried to be like, yeah, I mean, in gatekeeping in the negative way, it's like we own this, we own you, you can't exist. I'm sorry, but like the human mind and creativity existed way before Hasbro as
Dude.
a
No,
as a
Punkwaddle, we own your
company.
imagination. That's right.
Dude,
You will
and
play
you're
the story
talking
we tell you to play.
you're talking about that when they came out, what was it, like last year or something, when they came out
Yeah,
and tried to say this
Yeah.
that
that's
is
what
like
Ironcast
that's
was
one of
talking
the
about.
biggest,
No,
dumbest,
no,
just
yeah.
what are you doing?
It's like
That's
you
that's
have
like
been
some
sniffing
old
your heart.
curmudgeon coming in there trying to
Right.
take it away. That's trying to throw the kid, steal the kids a basketball or something so they can't play or something.
And-
It's like,
And then you pop it, and then nobody
yeah.
gets it. And then we're all sad.
So, with all of that said, I thought I would at least kind of take a little break and give you a little bit of positivity. Just a little
Oh.
reminder from our favorite dental-themed superhero, Dent Man, who's here to remind you to brush your teeth and go to bed.
It's very festive.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like
Diesel,
Is that who that?
you haven't met
Is
Dent
that-
Man yet, have you?
No, I haven't, man.
Okay, so
Look, he does look festive with his Where's Waldo scarf.
Mm-hmm.
so Dent Man is an account run by a guy. I guess it's run by a guy who's trying to basically make his own like hero, like your Kamen Riders, like your Power Rangers, Sentai,
Yeah.
your Spider-Man, Iron Man, etc. His whole thing is like he's just like a dental themed superhero, and he's always reminding you brush your teeth.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah, it's a dumb, silly gimmick account. He has his own little plush dolls, which isn't that hard these days.
You know,
That's
that's actually
awesome.
that's a pretty dope mask, man. You get the faceplate and the visor going on, man. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
been
that
I've
would
been
work with Brainiac
workshopping my
too.
own little
Oh,
Super Sentai kind of costume.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, hot day.
I'm looking forward to see what you could do for a belt.
A
Mm-hmm.
belt. Yeah, the belt's gonna be epic.
But there was a little bit of other news that kind of came up, and maybe I should have saved Ant-Man for the very end, but that seemed like a good place to kind of cut it because there was a little bit of word about some new Gundam series or something coming out.
Okay.
So let me see if I can play this. I don't know if you guys are gonna get audio, so we'll bear with me. This is only about 20 seconds long. So
I
this
hope it's something good.
I think I've heard this. Rap.
Wait a second. I could have swore I saw Amuro and Char there for a second.
Kind of looks like
Yeah.
Armor and Char.
They're going to shop at the mall and then they're gonna fight each other.
and then they kissed.
Have you ever seen the Gundam McDonald's commercials?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
I've got to come back.
It's so epic.
So this looks like some sort of alternate universe take on them, like because this is clearly Amuro and Char,
Yeah.
and presumably Lala.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
that-
that's Lala.
Oh yeah,
that makes
that's
sense.
definitely I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. Lala dresses so modest, so it just like totally flings me out.
I know it's the
You know
only
what I
thing.
mean?
The hair, good call. I wouldn't have got it until you said with the Lala with the hair, the little curl, the little blue thing going there. That's Lala right there. Yeah.
So this is Lalaport Fukuoka, a new wall. Oh, okay, it's a wall video. So these are like presumably like basically just it's something they just play basically on walls. So it's not an
Yeah,
animated
I
show.
knew this wasn't. I knew this wasn't a anime. I was like, oh, he's trolling me. This is not an anime.
Oh, I got my hopes up because like come on.
Well,
Look, look,
I saw Amuro and then Char, and they were complete clones. I'm like, no, no, they wouldn't do that this close. They've done clones, but they don't do like 1-to-1 clones.
by the way, did the audio go through for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
did.
bit, yeah.
Okay, good. Because yeah, that was just like I got a little excited. I saw that. And I'm like, oh my god, Gundam. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I was like, I don't know. Did you watch The Witch from Mercury?
I gave up.
I
on
didn't
it.
finish it.
I
Yeah.
watched part and I was like,
Mm.
Like,
I don't
this
know if
ain't it.
I think I finished it. It was kind of a meh.
It was too much of Build Fighters versus an average anime high school drama.
school. Yes,
with-
exactly.
with-
High school
And
drama,
it had
man.
some war drama elements in there too, just randomly, and then some like
It had a shark clone to make
geopolitical
it.
in-house
Yeah.
like corporate
was a-
freaking greed stories and
There was a flash or two of things about like that were in there in like the first.
and Mama
season or
Charclone had
whatever.
like a revenge arc that went kind of somewhere but not really.
And like the Gundam bits were souls of people, and that was really dark, but they didn't explore that enough. Like there were too many
Yeah.
things they could have done, and it was just
I
it's
did-
like
I
and
did
it was
like-
just-
I will say I think my favorite character was Mama Charclone. I don't know what the rest of you. I forgot her
She was-
name. That's what I just like call her.
I'm a bit of a fan of
Yeah.
Stuletta. Like the main character, I kind
Stuletta
of
was
like that.
okay.
I kind of like that kind of raccoony, like Tanuki, like nervousness. Like
Yes.
I like characters like that.
I just
Yeah, I
couldn't.
called
I
it
was
that.
like, it was too much high school drama, and I was like,
then all the
Yeah,
shipping
this
of
is-
like
Yes!
oh they're a
it's
couple,
just,
and then it was like okay if this is a Gundam high school drama show, and what's most important and what the Twitter bots want to post and retweet most about is like they're a couple. Like, okay, then the geopolitical, the humanity in crisis, and that we're all a bit messed up, but we all have our reasons. Like all the things Sharver stood for, and the reason, you know, side seven dropped, don't even matter, right? The reason that there's witches and they're doing all this stuff doesn't even matter in even the show. It's just, ugh.
Yeah, it's. I just
I
I was
just
just
I'm just happy. Um, Friggin' Gundam Thunderbolt's still printing out, which I got the latest volume last week, and oh boy, it is getting good.
Well, they say that there's gonna be they're actually talking about a Crossbones, right? Manga actually
Yeah,
putting some out there.
don't they have one already? Are there going to be another one?
Yeah, they're.
is
I think
this
they're
like
talking about more, which might put some. I'm hoping it puts some of the variants and some of the further things in quote canon.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
man, I'm wanting to I watched the Jobby review of like Zeta Gundam is my absolute favorite. I
Zeta
Dr.
Gundam's
love
DJ
good.
Ranchi.
Zeta
Zeta
Gundam is
Gundam
good.
is my absolute favorite. I love it.
They're
And
good
I love
score and
it. The score of that show is fantastic. And
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get. I'm just like terrible at building stuff. I wish I could get just a fully assembled, like just we put some die cast in there. Like I want to buy. I'm like Transformers, man. But there's a
whatever you
Zeta
want, just
Gundam.
ask me. I can build it. I
It's
know
true.
Punkwaddle's not going to build one for you, but
Shut up.
There's a Verka Zeta Gundam Verka that I saw that Jobby did a review on, and it looked fantastic, man. It looked like it was transformable, as far as Gundam is
Yeah,
transformable, and
yeah.
it looked really, it looked like it was really high quality, man. I would love to get like a buy like a high quality die cast Gundam figure that
I,
I didn't, for the not very good and like way too OCD people to build stuff like me, especially with painting,
yeah.
doing it
I
myself.
know. That's why I've gotten on some of the Gundam fixed figurations and stuff. Like, I think it's the Barbados Rex metal
Yeah,
figure.
yeah. Is
I
that
might
good?
have picked up. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Most of them are still in the box because I don't want to get dusty, but I haven't messed around with them. Um, I might have a Crossbones X0, the silver.
You sort of
Cool.
want
Hmm.
You
petered
know
off
what's
there.
really good, man? And I'm hoping to do it again. I went to my mom with my mom to Hobby Lobby, and I'm kind of in Hobby Lobby, and then I'm like, "Ooh, they got model kits." So I was like, "So what?" The bonus of going to Hobby Lobby was they had a whole bunch of Gundam kits in there, which was pretty
Yeah, they
cool.
do. They have
Yeah,
some pretty good ones
which is
too,
awesome.
depending on
Yeah,
yeah.
they did. There was a Zeta. There was one from one of the things from Zeta Gundam in there. I was like, "This is awesome." So
Yeah,
I was looking at.
it was one of the flashy big kits too. It was like one of the EX kits. Like yeah, I was like, wow, they have one of those. Cool. I'm gonna put it back. Can't find it right now.
My problem is I'm so because I know if I do it myself, if I mess something up, it's gonna drive me crazy because I'm so OCD about certain things, man. And I'm like
So
not.
my recommendation would be to go simple, get one of the high grade kits because maybe they're like $20.
High grade kits or the what's the beginners kits called? The oh shoot, what are they called? The
Point is like one of the
yeah,
fairly inexpensive ones that you could easily it's not the end of the world. You're not dropping like $200 on one of the like the premier perfect grade.
yeah, you're
I
driving like
did
20 bucks, maybe 30.
I did get I bought a Broly, a Dragon Ball Z Broly model
Ooh.
kit, and I got me some snips for it so that I could I smoothed out all of the when you're pulling the pieces off the runner. So I bought a little a nice pair of snips to like slice all that stuff off smooth so that I didn't have any rough spots on it, and it turned out fairly decent.
There you go. It's good to have a
Well,
good pair of nippers.
yeah, it was I actually was following the instructions and everything, it went together, and it had a few, it's fairly, the thing moves around and it's got some articulated parts, and building it and putting it together was not too bad.
Yeah, Bandai's got good articulation with their model kits, which is nice.
Yeah, Bandai. Whew. Oh, yeah.
And
There's a few times, man, where I'm just like, I went down the Macross rabbit hole a few times and wanted to get a few of the, like, the perfect transformation, like some Macross Plus figures, and I started looking at the prices, and I was like, oh man, do I
Yeah,
really need
those
both?
get-
Do I need both my kidneys?
Yeah, those can get quite pricey. I'm like, oh god, it's such a good series though.
I know. I love Macross Plus, man. I just saw an ad, and it may have already came out for the Blu-ray. Went out for Macross Plus, everything like redone and everything, and it looked amazing.
so, guys, I do have one last thing to show off, and again, I don't know if this gonna be able to stick around because of, well, copyright and all that, but
Sonic.
yes, you know right where I'm going.
I love Sonic.
That's cool. I never watched the other two. I should probably check those out, man. I played like one or two of the games, but I should probably check
They're
those
fun.
movies out.
Fun. They're very for kids, so
Yeah, they've got enough little nods and Easter eggs to the past that, but it doesn't feel like it's outright pandering.
no.
So,
no.
so without further ado, let's get into this. While unfortunately Punkwaddle has fallen off.
He'll be back. Maybe.
Here we go. Showtime.
What is this den of madness?
Are you Detective Pikachu?
He does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika.
Konichi, what? Get down.
It's time, Shadow. Finally, we will have our revenge. But what good is a dastardly plot?
All right, let's pause there. So far, I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I even watched the Knuckles was it the little Knuckles side story with yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Like, yeah, I'm digging what they're doing with the Sonic IP. The writing's pretty good.
Let's see. Agent S will ask, is this Chris Chan approved? Maybe, but oh,
God.
Decibel, big Chris Chan update for you. Apparently Chris Chan's girlfriend is pregnant.
That's what I saw too, man. And then I think maybe it was Fenrir, or somebody asked, "Is that kid gonna be the Antichrist?"
Oh no.
It may not have been Fenrir, but it was somebody, and I was like,
Christian is one of those, like, how did this happen? It's the internet. I blame the internet, and I lost my faith in society.
I mean,
I'm telling you, man.
There's only a 70-part documentary on him that takes like 60 hours to get through, 60 plus 70.
Oh god, yeah.
Gundam went down like a Chris Chan rabbit hole, man. I'm surprised that's man, and you wonder why that guy's so dark sometimes.
Yeah.
But on a positive note, I like what I'm seeing so far. I think the way they brought in the Chows to be like sort of like a costumed party little thing seems like a good way to go, like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, we got Gerald Robotnik.
If you can't conspire with family,
There's 2 Eggmen now?
Double your villains, double your fun.
any last words?
Nice magic marble, real scary. That actually is real scary. Trick shot. Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super... Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh, excuse me.
Again, sorry if it's coming across a little shoddy, guys, but that's
All
what
good.
we're dealing with.
Well, good.
That one good.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Keanu Reeves sounds great as Shadow.
Oh yeah, it's Keanu Reeves doing Shadow. That's cool.
That is cool.
Idris Elba's Knuckles. Like everything's lining up so far. I'm like, hey, let's bring in some more villains. Like we're gonna bring in some more of the furry costumed characters because
I just wanted to bring back like Metal Sonic. Like Hyper Metal Sonic's gonna be freaking amazing. But
oh, that'd be great.
yeah, yeah.
Without further ado,
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super dangerous top secret mission.
When?
Are you ready?
We were born ready.
All right, boys, try and keep up.
Come on, Granddaddy-O. We've got
Dirt to do.
with Shadow's power.
We can rule humanity.
When we're done, there won't be anything left to rule. That is dark.
oh shit.
What's up?
Oh, just like he literally shoots through the moon.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean,
Now, does this mean we're gonna get the arc? We're gonna get like the big pointy nose sticking out of it? Because
it's only a little bit of moon blasting. It's fine.
Yeah, man, it's not like it's gonna turn into Thundar the Barbarian or anything.
Exactly.
oh shit, what if it does?
Oh,
It's all coming together.
Well,
dinosaurs and everything, and the gravity's all the tides are all messed up, man. That was a dark cartoon.
Oh yeah. Had Jack Kirby working on some of the original pencils.
Oh, for the cartoon? Nice. Yeah, I remember that from the 80s, and I was like, yeah, I watched that when I was a kid, man. It was pretty dark because the moon gets cracked in half right at the beginning of the show.
Speaking of moon getting cracked in half.
Somebody better call Google Maps.
Life's all about the choices we make. Remember to listen to your heart. You're gonna make the right choice when it matters the most.
One head job to another. Who does your highlights?
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
This ends now.
Our destiny awaits. You were right about one thing. This ends now.
You know what? As Shadow.
It actually sounds. It's kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you
it
can
kinda
tell
fits.
it's Keanu, but like, it kind of fits the character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shadow's always been a little on the edgy side, you know.
And especially with the John Wick and everything, man, I can see it working like that.
And and just as a reminder, like because the studio listened and we're willing to go back and update the character design, they've now got 3 movies. They've got a TV show. This has become like a little mini empire in and of itself. Like
Yeah, instead of the freaking like failed.
See,
Yeah, no one's watching this
see what
abomination
happens.
run around. Now they
You
got.
see what happens when
Yep.
you listen to the fans, man.
Yep. You give
And
them what
that's-
they want.
Exactly, that's pretty cool.
You give the customer what they want, and then they want seconds.
Yeah, it's like almost like we had to go all the way around the world to go back to where we started from,
oh yeah.
to actually learn that.
We got just a last little bit here.
Zany class.
So
Yeah, very much for kids. I like it.
Oh, I'm going.
I'm going to.
In fact, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a movie the whole family's going to go see for Christmas. So
I was just a little.
Oh,
I was a little guy when I was a big fan of Sonic. So
that's cool, Aaron. You've got your family, man, and they're at the age that you can take them. That is cool, dude. That's.
Oh, it's
awesome,
it's basically like the grown family, the adults. Because like last year we went out, we saw Wonka for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
But that is about the gist of what all I had for this week. So guys, I guess as sort of our chance to wrap up here, I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Go spend some time with your loved ones. You guys, what do you have going on this week? On our way out.
Do you want to go first?
Diesel?
Oh, could be maybe on Rogues Gallery on Friday on Iron Oxide's channel, and we haven't came up with a time, which is usually around 7:45 Central, and we haven't came up with a time, a subject for Space Jockeys on Sunday, which we usually start at 8 Central, 6 Avocado time, and I haven't come anything so far. I've kind of I got to rack my brain and see. We need to find something cool to talk about, which is always the great thing about going over stuff that you love. I can always look around on the shelf and find something interesting or cool to talk about, and you can always when it all, if in doubt, I can always just be like, all right, we're just going to talk Transformers. Why not? Or Terminator, Aliens, or something. So yeah. It's yeah. So Rogues Gallery maybe on Friday, and then Space Jockeys on Sunday. So thanks for having me on, dude. This was great, man. This is really cool little show, man. I enjoy it.
Well, you're always welcome back, and hey, you've got the
Thank
link.
you.
You know how to get in.
Yeah, thank you, dude. I appreciate it, man.
I gave you keys.
Thank you, man. I'll try not to drive the car off a cliff.
That's
Snacks,
my job.
What's going on with you, buddy?
Well, tomorrow I am going to do a nip and nag, and on Thursday there is going to be the annual Turkey Night of Terror with Tommy the Terroristic Turkey, yeah, at 7 o'clock Thursday, Thanksgiving, and then that's at my channel, Snacks and Friends, and then maybe you'll see me on the Cotton Council on Saturday nights. That's where you find me this week.
Well, guys, I've tried to make sure that I put links in the description of this, so check these guys out. Make sure to subscribe to them, and let's keep people going out. Let's keep people, check out the other channels. Let's keep supporting each other, because the algorithm's sure going to be here to help us out. So, folks, with that, I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I want you all to make the most of it, and get ready for the Christmas season, because I hear Mariah Carey's unthawing as we speak. So, be good yourselves. Be blessed, and I will be on tomorrow with Stone Loki and Pops in the morning for over on Loki's Mornings of Mischief, and come on by and check that out. So, guys,